What's happening in the WNBA right now is absolutely wild. Sophie Cunningham, who plays with Diana Taurasi on the Phoenix Mercury, recently made some eye-popping comments about Caitlin Clark that are leaving people stunned. And believe it or not, that's just scratching the surface. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up numbers on the court, she's changing the game itself. She's been smashing records, pulling off impossible plays, and shaking up the Indiana Fever in ways no one saw coming. And get this, some of the seasoned veterans are starting to feel a bit envious. Yep, the rookie is making waves so big that it's ruffling the feathers of some long-standing stars. But hold on, let's take a closer look at what Cunningham said that's got everyone buzzing. In a recent interview, she dropped some serious thoughts on Caitlin Clark.
But I think they've done a great job in the league as well. I think the physicality and all that they're going to get used to, but I think especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it. And I'm a huge fan, and I never say that, but I think it's fun what she's doing.
Can you believe what this means? A veteran player who shares the court with the iconic Diana Taurasi is giving major props to a rookie. That's not something you see every day in the WNBA, but Sophie didn't stop there. She had more to say.
When it comes to viewership, man, I think a lot of people have a lot to learn about our league, but I think that's a really fun thing. And if you have really anything negative to say about all the viewership and everything that this rookie class is doing, I just think that you're not capitalizing on it and you might be a little jealous. So
Sophie just dropped a truth bomb on anyone throwing shade at Caitlin Clark's success and the other rookies in the league. She's basically saying that if you're not on board with how the WNBA is growing, then the issue might be with you. But why is Sophie, an established player, going all out to defend Clark and the rookies? Simple. It's all about the impact. Clark isn't just playing great basketball. She's completely changing how people view the WNBA. Since she stepped into the league, viewership has exploded. Games that used to have empty seats are now packed. People aren't just watching Indiana Fever games, they're buying tickets, jerseys, and buzzing about the WNBA on social media like never before. And here's the kicker. Clark is pulling all this off as a rookie. She didn't need years to adjust or build a fan base. She came in and started dominating right away. That's why Sophie and other savvy players are seeing that Clark's success is tied to the success of the league itself. In just the last 5 games, Clark's been on fire, averaging 22.6 points, 8.4 assists, and 4.8 rebounds. But that's not all. She's shooting 48.1% from the field and an impressive 44.4% from beyond the arc. These aren't just good numbers for a rookie, they're elite, even for seasoned pros. And what's most incredible is that she's not just stacking up stats for herself, she's lifting the entire team. With Clark on the court, the Fever have gone from barely scraping by to becoming serious title contenders. Oh, and that record for most points generated in a WNBA season? Clark is on track to break it. She's already ranked among the top 3 rookies of all time for total points, and the season's not even over. But it's not just about scoring. Clark is redefining what it means to be a point guard in this league. Her assists aren't just routine passes, they're jaw-dropping plays. She's seeing and creating opportunities that leave even the commentators speechless. And here's the wild part. She's doing all of this against defenses that are built specifically to shut her down. Entire teams are shifting their strategies just to contain Caitlin Clark, but she's still out there dominating. That's why veterans like Sophie Cunningham are so impressed. Clark isn't just excelling. She's changing the entire game. She's pushing teams and players to evolve. And in doing so, she's raising the level of competition across the WNBA. Let's dive into something Cunningham brought up that's been stirring the pot in the league: the jealousy and criticism aimed at Caitlin Clark. Sounds crazy, right? A rookie making such a huge impact that it's got veterans feeling envious. But that's exactly what's happening. Some players, and even some fans, are complaining about all the attention Clark's getting, saying it's overhyped or that she's stealing the spotlight from more experienced players. But let's be real, this is just plain jealousy. As Sophie Cunningham wisely pointed out, those who are grumbling about the attention Clark is bringing to the league are missing out on the bigger picture and maybe feeling a bit envious. She's absolutely right. Clark's success doesn't take away from any other player's value. In fact, the more attention the WNBA gets, the better it is for everyone. More fans mean more revenue, which can lead to higher salaries, better conditions, and more opportunities for all players. Clark is literally expanding the league's market. She's attracting new fans, people who might never have watched a WNBA game before. And once they're hooked, they're not just watching Clark, they're getting introduced to all the incredible talent the league has to offer. That's why smart players like Cunningham are embracing the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. They understand that when one player shines, it benefits the whole league. Clark's success is lifting the WNBA to new heights, and that's good for everyone.
Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not.
Wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it. My goodness.
Iowa, she did everything. You know, however many shots you want to take, whatever you want to do with the ball, you can do. It's just a different ball game.
If you've been watching Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, you'll notice she's still hitting all those incredible shots she made back at Iowa, wowing fans and packing arenas like never before. It's almost like Cheryl Swoops never saw her play, because as great as Clark is at shooting, the real magic happens when she passes the ball.
You have some players like an Aaliyah Boston, an Alyssa Smith, a Kelsey Mitchell, like they gotta have a rock.
Take a look at the list of players she just mentioned, then check out Caitlin Clark's assist numbers and tell me those players aren't getting the ball. Oh, and by the way, Clark just broke the record for most assists in a season. Not just a rookie record, but the overall WNBA record. On top of that, Kelsey Mitchell is hitting career highs across the board. It wasn't just Swoops. Other WNBA vets also thought Clark was in for a tough reality check.
Reality is coming. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
The only real issue earlier this season was the cheap shots other players were taking at Caitlin Clark. Sure, some rookie welcome to the league moments are expected, but things like Carter's hip check could have seriously injured her. Neck, back, twisted ankle, you name it. Plays like that need to stop for the good of the game and the league's future. Since the players came back from the Olympic break, Clark has led the Fever to their first postseason, ending the longest playoff drought in WNBA history. If we look at the last 12 games, Clark and her talented teammates have gone 8-4, securing the 6th seed. One thing that stands out is how much better she shoots from the left wing, especially off the catch. It's her highest percentage shot, which makes sense since her arm motion aligns better on that side. And the crazy part is, most of these shots are on the move. She rarely has time to just stand still, receive a pass, and shoot. Clark is tough to guard because of her constant motion. She runs off double Ivan screens, snaps back to the ball off a pin down, and the defender makes the bold choice to go under the screen, which triggers a flare cut to the deep left wing. She barely has any space, but still drains the shot. You could see WNBA players wondering why her NCAA opponents weren't guarding her properly. It was like Clark was showing off when she hit her personal best of 7 threes against Brittany Sykes' Mystics. It turns out, stopping Clark from getting her shots off to the left is harder than people think, even for seasoned WNBA vets. And against Diamond D Shields and the Chicago Sky, she hit 2 threes going left, with defenders right in her face. The Fever run some great plays to capitalize on her left side. For example, the cross screen leaves her defender under the screen, first mistake. Then, the handoff causes 2 defenders to get tangled up, and the final screen by Boston leaves Clark wide open to knock down a beautiful shot. When it comes to her passing, Clark is creating over 5 layups per game for her teammates, which is just wild. The biggest beneficiary is Aaliyah Boston. They've got a nice play where Boston slips the ball screen on the left side, then gets a double staggered screen across the lane, allowing Clark to deliver a perfect pass for an easy bucket. In a similar setup, Clark gets a ball screen at the top while Boston uses her body to shield the defender and finishes with a soft touch off the glass. Their bread and butter is the pick and roll. Since Clark draws both defenders, Boston often gets open shots right at the rim. Boston uses her size to spin around smaller defenders for easy layups, and when they reverse the ball screen on the left side, it's the same result. Boston's defender has to hedge because of Clark's shooting threat, but Clark's wraparound pass finds Boston perfectly. She even spins the ball just right so it lands in Boston's hands, allowing her to finish away from the defender. Just perfect execution. They've developed a killer 2-woman game at the top of the key, flattening the other 3 players along the baseline to give them room to operate. When the pick and roll is covered well, they transition smoothly into a get action, and Boston pulls off one of my favorite moves. the fake handoff. This sets up Clark for an assist and gave the Fever a crucial basket that helped them win in overtime. The chemistry between Clark and Mitchell has been fantastic. They connect so often on that classic dribble towards the corner backdoor cut play. Clark draws so much attention that Mitchell's defender tends to freeze, and with her speed and explosiveness, Mitchell easily beats her defender. Add Clark's vision and pinpoint passing to the mix, and you get a lot of frustrated coaches on the other side who, despite preparing for this, still get burned. Where they're especially dangerous is in transition. Mitchell is one of the fastest players in the league, and if the defense doesn't hustle back early, Clark is going to find her with one of those signature 50-foot passes for easy layups. Putting pressure on the defense early like that also softens it up, making it easier for Clark to get into her deep shooting game with less resistance. Caitlin Clark's talent is undeniable, and she's been proving it from her very first games. Even the biggest names in history need time to showcase their full potential, especially in major leagues like the NBA and WNBA. As Clark continues to get acclimated to the WNBA, her mindset and skills are being honed to make her an even more formidable player. Her quick learning ability is evident in her evolving perspectives. Before her debut as a rookie, Clark didn't see much difference between the NCAA and the WNBA. "I don't think it'll be any different from college," Clark said. "I've played in front of big crowds every single game, so these environments don't scare me or affect me at all. I think just embrace it and enjoy it. I'm sure there will be a lot of basketball fans here who really appreciate the game." However, her perception shifted after her first game. She has since admitted several times that the WNBA game is much more physical than she anticipated. She experienced this physicality firsthand during the Indiana Fever's third straight loss on Saturday. "The physicality is definitely up there. I'm easily pushed off screens," Clark told reporters. "The game seems a little fast for me right now, but the more I play and the more comfortable I get, it's going to slow down a bit. It'll be easier for me to make reads and see things develop." Clark is quickly adapting to the game, showing significant improvement with each match. On Monday, the Fever nearly secured a win, but narrowly lost 88-84 to the Connecticut Sun. Clark scored 17 points, hitting 5 of 11 shots, and making all 4 free throws. Despite injuring her ankle, she played for 27 minutes, adding 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 5 turnovers. Although the Fever lost, the game was a clear sign of their progress. Veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell, who started the season with an ankle injury, has been regaining her form, which has benefited Clark. In the final moments of Monday's game, Clark played a key role, contributing to 17 of the Fever's 23 fourth-quarter points. The excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark is at an all-time high, and for good reason. Some frustrated fans have even edited the Wikipedia page of Indiana head coach Christy Sitz following Clark's first 2 WNBA preseason games. Clark played in 2 preseason matches for the Fever, but has not yet participated in a regular season game. Fans are already expressing their dissatisfaction with side's management of Clark, who is expected to be a key player in the WNBA. Clark had a strong preseason debut against the Dallas Wings, but shot 4 for 12 in last Thursday's game against the Atlanta Dream. Sides commented on Clark's performance, saying, "I think she's used to some shots that she's taken in the last few years that are just those shots she's going to get open looks. She's got to figure it out. I gave her a rule the other day. She has 0.5 seconds to make a decision." Christy Sides also talked about Clark needing to change some habits. When she gets off the ball and hits someone in the high post, she tends to hang out and dance around. That's something she's used to doing, and it's a habit we need to break. One of Clark's upset fans even accused Sides of trying to undermine Clark's game, editing Sides' Wikipedia page to claim she's the only coach capable of damaging what the WNBA aims to achieve with Clark. The edited entry in the Indiana Fever section reads, "Sides got her first head coaching job in 2022 when she was hired as the 9th head coach in Indiana Fever franchise history and the only coach that could possibly ruin what the WNBA is on track to accomplish by ruining Caitlin Clark's game." During Caitlin Clark's pre-game warm-up in Brooklyn on Saturday, she paused for an interview with NBC's Today hosts Hoda Kotb and Jenna Bush Hager. Later, she posed in uniform with Trailblazer Billie Jean King. In between, Clark played a game, scoring a career-high 22 points with 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Notable figures like Jason Sudeikis, Megan Rapinoe, Sue Bird, and Dawn Staley watched as she dominated the court. Clark's first week in the WNBA highlighted both her star power and the challenges of transitioning from college to the pros. She debuted in Connecticut and Indianapolis, and following her first game in New York City, she received mixed reactions. Fans eagerly awaited wearing number 22 shirts and holding signs, and Clark tried to accommodate as many selfie and autograph requests as possible. Caitlin acknowledged that she needs to handle physicality better, be more decisive in navigating screens, and develop more chemistry with Indiana's posts. She assisted last year's Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, on 4 of Boston's 12 field goals in 2023. Indiana guard Erica Wheeler assisted Boston on 24% of her field goals, according to PBP stats. Clark's assists to Boston haven't been evenly distributed across games. The Fever knows they have much to improve on as a team. Through 3 games, they are allowing 18 fast break points and 17.3 second chance points per game, both second highest in the WNBA, a significant drop from last year. Their defense is conceding more than 116 points per 100 possessions, the worst in the league. Failing to contest shooters in the first half of their loss to New York on Saturday was as damaging as any offensive issues. Clark often talks about the importance of being kind to herself. She's seen both the ups and downs of being a pro, becoming the first WNBA player to record 21 turnovers in their first 21 games, and the second after Candace Parker to achieve over 50 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds, according to Across the Timeline. I know people expect me to do amazing things, but it might take some time, she said on Tuesday. On Saturday, she added, I think the more we play together, the better our chemistry will be. Despite the Fever's 0-3 start, Coach Christy Sides noted progress. The team faced tough losses, including a 21-point defeat to Connecticut and a 36-point blowout on Thursday. Before Saturday's game, Sides stressed the need to compete and asked her team to understand what that looks and feels like. The 11-point loss to New York showed more of the fight Sides wanted. We couldn't figure that out the other night, and that was so frustrating, Sides said. Now we kind of have an idea of where we are. The Fever are a young team with potential, competing against some of the WNBA's best. This is going to take a little time, All-Star guard Kelsey Mitchell said on Saturday. Mitchell, recovering from an ankle injury, came off the bench in Indiana's first 2 games. Playing against the best of the best is the only way we're going to get better. During one sequence in the second quarter on Saturday, Clark missed a deep 3-pointer, giving the ball back to Liberty. On New York's next offensive possession, Ionescu faked a pass, then nailed a 3 while Clark failed to contest. Running back on defense, Ionescu shrugged as if to say Clark shouldn't have left her open. She never stops moving, Clark said of Ionescu. She's always on the move, always got a bounce in her feet, and I think that's something I can try to replicate in my game. Clark is getting used to her new pro routine. At Iowa, the Hawkeyes would sometimes show up 90 minutes before tip-off, warm up, and play. But for Tuesday's opener at Mohegan Sun Arena, she arrived more than 2 hours early. In the locker room, Clark ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and joked with Wheeler while getting a massage. She's not used to being at the gym this early, so I told her she needs to find things to do, whether that's stretching, watching film, or filling the time, Wheeler said. Clark hasn't had much downtime, as Indiana's opening stretch includes 7 games in 12 days, with matchups against the Sun, Seattle Storm, and Las Vegas Aces in the next week. When asked about her activities outside of basketball, Clark said, I'm about to move into my apartment, so I'm moving out of the hotel. That's fun. Veteran Fever center Mika Catchings praised Clark's composure, saying, I'm so proud of how she is as a person. I just hope we can band around her. It's a lot of pressure. Clark, handling pressure from both her team and the sport, is focused on playing fast and competing. She looks forward to visiting new arenas and making memories. "I'm going to remember a lot of these games because it's my first year in the league," Clark said.
Today, anytime the head is hit, they usually call it. And she gets her really hard there. Any contact above the shoulders.
Angel Reese hit Caitlin Clark right on the head and ended up getting benched for it. To be honest, this situation isn't as glamorous or joyful for Clark as it might seem. The physical demands and the pressure of expectations, both on and off the court, have been tough. Adding to that, the stress from social media and various conspiracies has made things even harder. Clark talked about how challenging it all has been.
Younger than that at times, and I'm trying to navigate moving to a new city by myself. I'm trying to navigate, playing in a new league on top of everything else that has come with it. And
in the midst of all the chaos, Caitlin Clark is trying to stay calm. It's definitely not easy or delightful. The world keeps pulling her into the whirlwind. Over just a few years in the spotlight, Clark's story has evolved from a fun narrative about a record-breaking college basketball scorer who brought new attention to women's basketball, to discussions about race, sexuality, fame, money, and opportunity. Then, it shifted back to concerns about her turnover numbers early in her first WNBA season. Clark highlighted the importance of focusing on mental health and emphasized that seeking help is crucial. "I can achieve everything in my life," she said. "I'm not afraid to ask for help and to tell people, today is just not my day. And that's okay. Not every day has to be perfect."
I think it's something that a lot of people in our country struggle with, especially young individuals. And, I think the biggest thing is don't be afraid to ask for help.
The concern isn't just about Clark herself. Tennis star Serena Williams recently praised Caitlin Clark for handling early success, despite social media negativity. Speaking to the New York Post at the Tribeca Festival about her docuseries In the Arena, Serena was asked about Caitlin. Serena responded, "I just love that she tries to stay grounded." She mentioned that Caitlin avoids looking at her social media. Sharing some advice with Caitlin, Serena said,
"If people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do, basically, and hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing."
Relating to Clark's tough early career days, Serena Williams shared her own experiences with similar negativity as a young tennis star. "I was bullied," Serena said. "Things I went through would get people canceled now." Earlier this year, Serena expressed interest in owning a WNBA team while talking to CNN. "I would definitely be super interested with the right market," she reiterated. "We just need the right catalyst and people. And I think that's happening over the past 2 years. Women's sports are finally having their moment." Big stars like Serena recognize Caitlin Clark's unprecedented rise to fame. She's one of the most popular athletes on the planet, and she hasn't even played her first WNBA game. In her first 14 games, Clark is on track to win Rookie of the Year, averaging 15.6 points on 36.7% shooting, 32.2% from three, 4.9 rebounds, and 6 assists. However, she's also facing intense physicality and committing a league-high 5.5 turnovers per game. Amid all the attention, fans are concerned about her mental health and well-being. Being famous has its perks, but at just 22 years old, there's worry about whether Clark can handle the long-term pressure. In ESPN's Full Court Press series, Clark admitted she sometimes wishes she were normal, because all the attention and press can be draining. "There are days when you don't want to talk to everyone," Clark said, "but someone comes up to you, and this is their 10-second interaction with you, so you better smile and be kind. But sometimes, you just want to be normal." Despite the pressure, Caitlin Clark seems to be handling it well so far. But with her fame expected to rise, fans are concerned about her mental health. Life as a celebrity has its downsides, but the pros often make it worth it. At 22, Clark's exciting journey in the world of basketball and celebrity continues. The latest chapter took place on Sunday in front of a sold-out crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. There, she faced Angel Reese, a Chicago Sky rookie familiar with high-profile showdowns against Clark. They had a heated battle in the 2023 NCAA National Championship game, where Reese's LSU Tigers defeated Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes famously mocking Clark's "you can't see me" hand motion. Clark and Iowa got their revenge when they knocked out Reese and LSU in this year's Elite Eight in April. Attendance and merchandise sales spiked, and everyone assumed the latest Clark-Reese game would set viewership records. "I think it's the emotion and passion we play with," Clark said. "That's something that wasn't always appreciated about women's sports. And it should be. It makes it fun. We're competitors. And that's how the game should be. It's going to get feisty and physical, but both teams are just trying to win." In their second professional meeting, the Fever earned a 91-83 win, with Clark delivering her best all-around performance of her 15-game career. She scored 23 points on 11 shots, adding 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocked shots. In a dramatic turn, Reese hit Clark across the head, sending her to the floor as she attempted to block Clark's layup in the third quarter, earning Reese a flagrant foul. Clark's reaction was unexpectedly composed. "What's going through my mind is, I need to make these 2 free throws," she said. "That's all I'm thinking about. It's just part of basketball. It is what it is. She's just trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. It happens." When Caitlin walked into the Indiana training camp, the excitement was palpable. Everyone turned to look at her, filled with curiosity and hope. People started comparing her to the legendary Larry Bird, highlighting the high expectations and excitement surrounding Caitlin's game. Back in 1979, Larry Bird joined the Boston Celtics right after his college days at Indiana State. Before he arrived, the Celtics had just endured their worst season ever, finishing with a 23-59 record. But Bird's rookie season sparked a dramatic turnaround, with the Celtics achieving a 61-21 record and clinching the Atlantic Division title. This phenomenon became known as the Larry Bird effect. Could Caitlin Clark bring about a similar change for the Fever as Bird did for the Celtics? Last year, the Fever finished with a 13-27 record, and the year before, they had the worst record in the WNBA at 5-31. The potential for transformation is clear. Just as Bird took the Celtics from their worst season to division champions, Clark has the chance to revitalize the Fever. If she can replicate Bird's impact, she might lead the Fever back to playoff contention, something they haven't seen since Tamika Catching's last season in 2016.
That's new to me. I think no matter what is going to happen, there's always going to be expectations and pressure on my shoulders and pressure on this team to be really good, and that's how you want it. That's exactly, we wouldn't want anything else.
The excitement was palpable as the Indiana Fever kicked off their 2024 training camp at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The familiar sounds of sneakers on the court, swishing nets, and teammates communicating filled Salesforce Court as the Fever returned for their first day of on-court action. Most of the team was there, including stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, ready for an intense 2-day training camp. Head coach Christy Sides and her coaching staff wasted no time putting the players through their paces, evaluating their skills and chemistry. For Clark, this was her first official practice as a professional player, and she didn't disappoint. She showed the same talent and determination that earned her accolades in college, eager to make her mark in the WNBA. Despite the challenges and whirlwind of recent months, Clark was grateful for the opportunity to be back on the court with her teammates.
I say I'm a pro by any means, but it's been fun. I think it's like, it definitely has a big city feel, but at the same time, like, it feels small and it's easy to get around. I mean, I'm staying mostly in downtown Indianapolis. I'm not driving everywhere yet.
As the Fever geared up for their preseason games, Clark felt the pressure and excitement of playing at the professional level. She seemed ready to see what the team could achieve, confident in their abilities. Caitlin Clark is set to make her WNBA debut with the Fever in the third week of May, but she wants to remind everyone that she's human, not a magician. As the top pick in a highly anticipated WNBA draft class, the weight of expectations is heavy, but she's handling it well. She's urged people not to expect miracles right away, emphasizing the importance of giving herself grace as she transitions to the pros. Clark acknowledges that perfection isn't realistic and that there will be challenges. She's not aiming to score 40 points per game from the start. Instead, she plans to learn from her teammates, enjoy the journey, and stay true to herself. The excitement around Caitlin is so strong that even her workout sessions have become viral sensations. During her first Indiana Fever workout on Tuesday, a 15-second clip of her shooting around quickly gained traction online. As the #1 pick in the recent WNBA draft, Clark showed her skills by going a perfect 5 for 5 in the video. This impressive performance follows her remarkable college career, where she became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer with 3,951 points at Iowa. Fever's training camp has captivated fans more than ever. During a scrimmage, Caitlin impressed everyone by dribbling past a male player and nailing a three-pointer. A fan posted a video of the play online, dubbing it, "Caitlin Clark broke his ankle." Due to how she faked out her opponent, teammate Erica Wheeler cheered her on with a playful "bye-bye boy" as the guy tried to keep up and nearly twisted his ankle. Dick's Sporting Goods even chimed in on social media, praising Erica for her support. Erica, who has been playing in the WNBA for 9 years, has been a big fan of Clark's from day one. Despite being a star and the top pick by the Fever from Iowa, Clark is still considered a rookie. Erica noted, "She's one of the best players in the world right now, but she's so humble. She's always asking for advice and trying to improve." Clark understands there's a big difference between college and professional basketball, but she's ready for the challenge. She's excited about the faster pace of the WNBA, saying it suits her style. "The coaches here have been watching me for a while and have some great plays lined up," Clark said. "I feel like I'm in good shape since I just played in the NCAA championship game." She's been keeping busy with basketball and feels confident and ready to make her mark in the WNBA. As Caitlin's fame continues to rise, Indiana is also seeing a boost in new advertising partnerships. The Indiana Fever, influenced by Caitlin Clark's selection, recently signed a major ad deal with Indiana-based pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly. This partnership introduces jersey ads to the WNBA, following a trend seen across various professional sports leagues. Starting this season, Eli Lilly's logo will appear on the left shoulder of Fever jerseys, highlighting the growing collaboration between sports and business in the state. Pacers Sports and Entertainment CEO Rick Fuson expressed excitement about the partnership, emphasizing its potential to bring attention to important issues such as support for female athletes and community health initiatives in Indiana.
Edub compared Indiana to Hollywood when we talked to her. I know the excitement has kind of followed you for a little while, but I'm curious your spin on that and Indiana in particular.
I'll agree with Edub there, I guess. I don't know.
The excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark is unprecedented, and fans are eager to see her off the court just as much as on it. Fans are gearing up to watch Caitlin Clark make her WNBA debut this Friday, with the Indiana Fever set to take on the Dallas Wings in a preseason game. Despite being an exhibition match, ticket prices have surged, even surpassing those for a crucial NBA playoff game in Clark's new hometown. As of Wednesday afternoon, the cheapest ticket for the Fever versus Wings game was a whopping $595 on TickPick. Located in Section 209, Row MM at the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas, including all fees. These prices are comparable to many regular season NBA tickets, and notably higher than the entry price for Thursday night's Pacers-Bucks NBA playoff game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, which stood at $36 for the cheapest ticket on TickPick. The high ticket prices for the Fever Wings game can be attributed to the limited seating capacity at the College Park Center, which can only accommodate around 7,000 spectators. This situation has prompted several WNBA teams to upgrade their arena arrangements in anticipation of matches against the Indiana Fever. The Fever, in turn, hosted all their games that season at Gainbridge Fieldhouse after previously playing at the smaller Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Other WNBA teams, like the Las Vegas Aces and Washington Mystics, also shifted their home games against the Fever to larger NBA-sized arenas to meet the demand from fans. The WNBA's Dallas Wings experienced a historic moment as they sold out season tickets for the first time in the franchise's history just before their preseason opener against the Indiana Fever on May 3rd. The anticipation surrounding Caitlin Clark's debut with the Fever fueled a surge in ticket demand, driving up sales for the Dallas team. Individual ticket prices for Clark's preseason debut ranged from $210 to $350, with some exceeding $1,000 in certain sections, according to UTA Tickets. The Wings also saw a significant increase in overall ticket sales revenue, with a staggering 220% rise, including an impressive 1,200% surge in individual ticket sales revenue, according to the Dallas Morning News. This surge highlights the profound impact of Clark's presence on both the Fever and the wider WNBA community, sparking unmatched excitement and engagement among fans.